Let's see, is it going to work today? I think it is. Hello, I'm still opening the chat. Computer's running a little bit slow for me today. It doesn't want to work, but I'm going to make it work. Hey friends, happy Friday night. I'm saying this blindly. I have no idea who's here because I don't have the window open yet. I want to let you know what I'm going to be working on tonight. I do have the cutting instructions for you, and I have what I'm calling a free project sheet. It's not a full pattern. It's very high level, but I just dropped it in the chat what you need to cut if you want to make this project with me. And I gave you a link to my website. I have it called Layer Cake Tango, and it is under the free downloads menu on my website. So if you want to check all that out, feel free. I think I even actually linked directly to the PDF in the description box down below if you're interested. So I see we've got a few folks in the house tonight. Hello, hello, hello. I see Kathy, Alice, Donna, Angela, Christine, Zelia, Guess Who, Nancy, Karen Mewis, Sharon Sands. She is tuning in from beautiful Iowa, she said. Hello, 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 lovelies. I am so happy that you're here with me tonight, and I cannot wait to get started on this quilt. It's going to go together pretty quickly. This is something I feel like this is a really easy beginner-friendly pattern. There is no half square triangles. It's all straight seams. I am going to make 30 of the blocks that you see behind me. So let's talk about those, shall we? The blocks that are up here, I'm just going to turn around so you can see. It's a 9.5-inch center. And so I used a layer cake, and I starched each layer cake because I like to use starch in all my fabric, which means I also did starch my yardage. So I cut all of my layer cake squares down to 9.5 inches after I added starch. I kind of needed to do that anyway. And then from my yardage, I cut out a bunch of 2.5-inch strips, and then I subcut those into 5 inches by 2.5 inches and 7 inches by 2.5 inches. You need 60 for each because every one of these blocks is going to take 2 of those. And so that's what I've got cut out in front of me and already starched and ready to go. As you can see, I've already done 2 of the blocks up there. So I figured we'd just get into it and we can sew this together. I can't wait to see how it comes together. But before we do, I need to show you my finish from a couple of weeks ago. As you guys remember, last week I did not have a finish really to show you because I went to my daughter's band concert. But this week I have it off the long arm. So this is the So Speedy FPP quilt from Whole Circle Studio. I always want to say Whole Circle Studios, and that's why I paused because I'm like, wait, studios. I couldn't remember. I used all Art Gallery fabrics on this. It's all Art Gallery solids, pure solids, and this was definitely, it was an FPP pattern, but it went together really easily. Well, some of it was FPP. The needle points were FPP. And so what I did is I layered this with 2 layers of cotton and 2 layers of wool. And then I outlined around all of my needles as well as the inside. And I chose this really pretty kind of all over pattern to go in the background behind it to kind of smush the background down and allow the needles to puff up a little bit more. I used the Pro Stitcher to do some of the custom quilting, actually all of it. The Pro Stitcher, I ran the Pro Stitcher, but none of this was hand guided. It was automation. So there are a few areas in here that the Pro Stitcher didn't line up exactly perfect. So I don't even know if you can see over here, but there's a few areas on this blue needle, for example, where the stitches kind of came in onto the blue fabric. I can see it a little bit on the orange up here, but it's mostly prominent right here. And so I want to go through this weekend and clean those up. So I'm going to be ripping those incorrect stitches out. And then there were a ton of jumps on this thing, so I need to clean up all the jumps. And then I'm going to put a sleeve on it, a label on it, and bind it. And this, by the way, is what the back looks like if you are curious. Isn't that great? It did come out great. Joan says, those needles came out great. It sure did. I am super happy with how that turned out. Auntie L Handmade says, pretty quilt. Zaza says, that turned out fabulously. I love your quilting. I liked the background on it because it kind of reminded me of those tangled threads when you're working on a project. We all get them. And so I thought that that was really appropriate. It was actually the first one I saw, and then I kept going through some of my designs and I ended up back at that one. So sometimes you really need to just go with what catches your eye the first time. Am I right? Yeah. Also, I want to let you know, as you're looking at the top camera down, do you see that this is no longer clear? Yes, yes. A year or so ago, or whenever I had my Juki recess down in here, I had one of those clear acrylic surrounds for the Juki in this table. In fact, I still have it, but I didn't like that you could see underneath. I wanted to give it a nice custom look so that it looked like the whole tabletop was just flush. And so what I did with that surround is I just took some vinyl that you would buy for a Cricut machine and I put it on top of that acrylic surround, and that made it blend in with my white table. Well, this week I did the same thing. One of the evenings after work, I was like, okay, it's time to get rid of the glare. It's time to do something about that. So that should give me a little bit better of a setup and hopefully help a little bit more with the white balance. What kind of starch did you use? Becca Charlotte is asking. I used Mary Ellen's Best Press. Hope that helps. Got to get my water over here. This is a coffee cup that has like 3 sips of coffee from this morning that I still haven't finished. So I should finish this so it doesn't spill, because I have been spilling everything at work. And by everything, I mean lots of coffee. All gone. So let me tell you what happened. We have a couple of coffee machines at work that I have set up on a desk near where a bunch of us sit. I have an espresso machine that I've taken in and I set there, and somebody else has a Keurig that's sitting over there. And so I try to keep it stocked with some little coffee pods and some little individual creamers. And then if other people have some, they can always bring in and donate to the pot, or they can just bring their own, but the machines are there for both of us to use. Because the Nespresso is mine, I try to keep an eye on making sure that it's cleaned out and the trash receptacle is emptied. If you don't know what an espresso is, I have the Nespresso Virtuoso. So as you brew your espresso shots in the machine, when you lift the lid up, the little pod that you used kind of comes up and goes backwards down into like a little receptacle that stores all of the used pods. And a few drips of leftover liquid, coffee, whatever, also drip down there. So that receptacle has a bunch of holes in the bottom, and then there's like another bottom that it sits on top of to hold the liquid. Well, that liquid tray can get filled very quickly. If that trash receptacle is filled to the brim, you know the bottom's going to be filled. Oh my goodness, hold on. Sorry. You know the bottom's going to be filled. So I stopped and it was time to clean out the Nespresso. So I got it. I picked it up and I emptied the pods into the trash. And then I was walking to the pantry so that I could clean it out, wash it out, and bring it back. But I forgot that the bottom was not permanently attached. In fact, I think I still had the pods in it, if I'm remembering right. I don't remember. Anyway, I forgot that the bottom was not permanently attached. It was just kind of sitting there. And so I took a few steps away and everything was fine until it wasn't. Yeah, the bottom that was full of almost tar-like coffee, fell out, left a great big stain on the floor, splashed all over my clothes. Like, I had coffee here, I had coffee on my face, I had coffee on the wall, I had coffee everywhere. Yeah, so I get that cleaned up. There's a lovely mark on the carpet now, courtesy of moi. I get all that cleaned up. 2 days later, I'm sitting at my desk. I've got my cup of coffee here. I'm on a call and I go to reach to get something. I don't even know what I was going to reach for, but I went to reach something and my hand went shoop. I had just brewed that cup of coffee. The whole thing spilled all over my work desk. It was horrible. So yeah, the coffee cup is now empty and I will be drinking water out of my leak-proof water bottle because I have been accident prone for the past week. I think Ian is rubbing off on me. So I see lots of people in the chat said, bless you. Thank you so much for that. All right, so I'm going to get sewing. Let's get right to it. I'm going to show you how this project is going to come together. I think it's a really easy, fun sew. And I can't, yeah, that funky coffee in the drip tray is foul. I cannot wait to see this come together. So first thing that I'm going to do is join my 2 small pieces together and my 2 big pieces together. So again, I have 60 of each of these pile. Truthfully, these piles aren't quite at 60, but I'm not going to get through the whole quilt tonight, so it's fine. But I have 60 from each pile. These are 2.5 inches by 5 inches, and these are 2.5 inches by 7 inches. And then this set of squares, there are 30 of them. They are 9.5 inches. So I'm going to start by just joining the 5-inch squares along that 2.5-inch side. And I'm just going to do a bunch of them. I'm not going to worry about doing the whole stack. I'm just going to try to do some even numbers because I'll need 2 per block. Hello, Ian. I am really excited. I know Ian is too because Mary will be coming up tomorrow. Renee says, I read on your website that month 4 of the block of the month thought the measurements were wrong. Did you check it and is it right now? I think they're right. Which size block do you think is wrong? Mona, your comment summoned Ian. Yes, he is rubbing off on me. I'm getting a little more clumsy, but hopefully maybe he's getting a little less clumsy. 2, 4, 5. I am excited for Mary to be here too. She will be leaving at 3 o'clock in the morning. She always does that. So I don't look for her to be in the chat very much tonight because if she's smart, she's probably getting some rest. So she will be leaving at 3 o'clock in the morning and should be up here. Normally when she does that, she's usually up here between 11 and 12, which is great timing because tomorrow it is our Zoom weekend. Our Zoom weekend starts tomorrow at 10 a.m. So for those of you whose name are in green here on YouTube because you are a member of YouTube Perks, I'll drop the link through a community post later tonight, and you will be able to join us on Zoom. And for those of you that are VIP members on my website, you should already have the link in this month's newsletter that went out. No, not this month's newsletter. It's under the VIP section of the website. Just log in and you can get the link, and I will try to remember to do an email blast to all of you VIP members so that it's right in your inbox tomorrow morning. We'll probably open up the Zoom at 10 a.m. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, that's 12. That's enough to do 6 blocks. Let's just go ahead and do these. So I want to show you how this goes together. So I did 12 of those. So I'm going to do 12 of the others. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I see a comment in the chat about my choice of fabric that I will address after I finish counting, because I can't count and talk at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So my choice of fabric. Yes, let's talk about that, shall we? So I am using a layer cake for Roar. This is a line that from Tula Pink that I actually really like. And I hem and hawed about whether or not I wanted to buy a fat quarter bundle of it. I just couldn't see spending that much money, so I eventually opted not to. And then one day I was in the shop at So Classic Fabrics in Harrisonburg and really regretting my life choices of not buying a fat quarter bundle. And I thought, well, if I can't have a fat quarter bundle and I want to make something with all the prints, what's the next best thing? You got it. A layer cake. Actually, I think it's a fat eighth bundle, but a layer cake. They happen to have a couple of layer cakes, so I grabbed one. And I also picked up some yardage, specifically this, because I loved this. It's a border print, but I thought I could cut the border stripes out, use them for the border, and I could use this for background in the project. And it's been sitting on my shelves for a while until today when I decided it's time to make this quilt, because my nephew it's a long story and I don't want to get into all of his personal stuff, but he's essentially moving into a new home with some new roommates, and he loves dinosaurs and he loves kind of like the astronomy and the night sky and everything. And so I thought this would make a lovely quilt for his bed. Somebody's asking me, how big will the quilt be when it's all finished? I don't have those measurements for you, but they are, I believe, on the PDF. It's going to be good size. So these blocks will measure, I think, about 13 inches, and we're going to do 5 across by 16 down. And then I'm going to do a 2-inch inner border and then a 6-inch outer border. So you can multiply 5 times 13 and then add 12, 4, 16, and then add 16. Wow, the chat's just hopping off today. Pop off, my guy. Yeah, my daughter would kill me if she heard me say that. Question, is it possible that it is 30 and not only 3 squares of 9 oh, yes. Yes, it is 30. Did the chat say 3? No, you need 30. You need 30 of the big print and 60 of the 2.5 inch by 7 from each print and 60 of the 2.5 inch by 5 of each print. Really don't like how that one looked. Let me just see something really quickly. Oh, so that is a bit bigger. Okay. All right. How old is your nephew? He is 24. He will be 24 this year. Do I have a mouse? Ah, I do. I want to fix the command so that it's giving the right cutting instructions. So I'm just going to go into my command really quick. Oh, yep, it sure does say 3, doesn't it? Let's fix that. I am literally right at my character limit. So I got to delete one character so I can fit that 0 in there. There we go. All right, let's see if that works. Is that better? A few people are saying there's a mistake on the block of the month. Okay, I will double check. I will look at it tonight, and if there is an error, I will fix it before the video drops tomorrow. All right, how big will this project be? I don't know. I've got Ian's doing a wonderful job of trying to keep up with the comments in the chat for me. And so I just opened up the window where where his messages are so I can see them. Let me see if I can also get the quilt measurements for you. It should all be on the download, but I'll go look. Hold on. For those of you that think there's a mistake in the block, for the pattern that I draw, for the block pattern that's on my website, you could do me a real big favor and send me an email with what you think is wrong so I can take a look at that instead of going through the math for all the sizes all over again. So if you could send that to me, that would be great. All right, so this quilt is going to be 81 by 94 when it's done. There we go. Did you and Jason have a nice anniversary weekend? Well, the anniversary weekend that we had, here they are. The anniversary weekend, our actual anniversary weekend, we didn't do anything. So, I mean, he wasn't really home. And I took classes on Pro Stitcher at the local quilt shop. But this past weekend, we did spend some time together. We went and had crabs, which is something that we love to do whenever we're celebrating something. So we definitely made up for it last week, and it was nice. It is a nice size. Suzanne says it is a nice size. Dimensions of the finished block, 13 and a half. No, I think it's 13 by 13 when it's finished. Again, like, I don't know. It's probably going to be, it's going to be on the download. I think it's 13 by 13 finished. It should square to 13 and a half by 13 and a half, but go look at the PDF just to make sure that I'm not telling you wrong. I don't have the PDF in front of me. I don't even know if the PDF tells you that, because it's literally just an export of the design that I made in Pre-Quilt. I drew it out in Pre-Quilt and exported out the cutting instructions. So it's not even like I didn't even type it up. Is a half yard of each of the, no, No, it's not. Fabric requirements are in the PDF. It's under the PDF is linked in the description box down below. Now, you could maybe make a half yard work. It would just be a smaller version of the quilt. Heating up my iron. I'm a little nervous because if you see here, this piece is a bit wider than this piece, and I'm not quite sure what happened. Those should be cut at 2.5 inches. I was rushing to get this cut before the live stream, and it looks like this piece over here is 1/8 of an inch too small on at least that end, but it looks like it's only tapered into the middle. So here's what I'm going to do when I put this together. I'm just going to put this side against the block, and I'm going to leave that there, and hopefully that'll get hidden in the seam allowance. Once it's attached to the block, I'll be able to tell whether or not I want to keep it that way. Worst case scenario, I can just discard that one and go back and make more, and everything should be okay. As long as the fabric's got at least 1/8 of an inch to hold onto in the seam allowance, I feel like it's going to be okay. Ooh, Tanya's going to Patchwork Plus tomorrow. Do you need anything from them? No, I'm good. I should stay away from buying fabric. I just spent a lot of money at the quilt shop today. I had to pick up some pieces of fabric for a couple of quilts that I've got in the hopper, and I blew my fabric budget for the month. But tell the ladies I said hi. Sharon says, I had cataract surgery, no glasses, now just wearing cheaters for up close. Man, I really can't see well. Now I won't miss anything with both eyes done. Shelly says, hello all, just signing on. Been at Camp Stitch Away all day and again tomorrow. Fun event for 3.5-hour classes with Bernina experts, sergers, long arms, foot class, and B990. Burbina? No, thank you, Tanya. She's asking if I want some JMU fabric. Nah, thank you. I'm good. My husband went to JMU, James Madison University. Leanne says, fabric budget? That's a great idea. Hello, C Card. C Card is asking, what are you making tonight? I am making a quilt I call Layer Cake Tango. There is a project sheet under the free downloads of my website, and you can see what the blocks look like over my shoulder behind me. Laura says, budget? What budget? I way blew that last couple of weeks. Who is taking Mary for ice cream? Bill wants to know. I will. I will do it. Clifton is open. Their ice cream is being served. We'll go. Susan says, I have been dreaming of being able to buy a long arm machine, especially after paying the bill for getting the queen size purrs and pumpkin quilts I am now sewing the binding on. Yeah. I love having a long arm. Jenna says, I started working in a quilt shop just for the discount. It is. Ian says, I'm so glad that the Clifton Ice Cream Depot is open. Their ice cream is yummy. They opened the week that Ian had company, and so we took his friend down to Clifton to have some ice cream on opening day. It was great. Tanya says, I'm going to blow my budget out of the water tomorrow. Hello, Mary the Crafty Panda. 15 hours, Mary. 15 hours. Melody says fabric and budget are two words that do not belong in the same sentence. All right, so I've got a couple of different strip sets. I have the ones that are longer. Those are going to go on the top and bottom of my block. And then I have the shorter ones, which are going to go on the side. So I'm just going to separate them into two different piles based on how big they are. Oh, they're having a birthday sale. Uh-oh. Mary, do we need to go to Patchwork Plus tomorrow after you get in? Do we need to drive to Harrisonburg to see what the birthday sale is? I have a feeling Mary's going to be tired of being on the road and she's going to say no. All right, so we're going to grab this block. And the beauty of how this comes together is that we're just going to alternate it. So on the right-hand side, I'm going to always make sure that my short strip has one fabric up here, and then on the other side, it's going to be in the opposite corner. So they're going corner to corner, and then the same thing on the top and the bottom. Oh, it ends tomorrow, so tomorrow's the last day, huh? Is the yes to the 15 hours or yes to going into Patchwork Plus when you get in? Because it would literally have to be get right in the car and go, because I think they close at 4. Vicky is loving this fabric. Alicia says, I go to Patchwork Plus when I visit my sister-in-law and brother. They are just a couple miles away from it. My in-laws live in Harrisonburg, so if I'm down there on not a Sunday, I usually try to stop in at Patchwork Plus and Sew Classic Fabrics. Open till 4. Is G Street Fabric still around? I think so. I think they are in Rockville, Maryland only, though. They used to have one in Virginia, but that closed years ago. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have enough to do 6 blocks, so I'm trying to make sure that I don't run out. Sometimes it's easier to count and make my pile than it is to actually think while I'm doing this. Oh, we can't go to Patchwork Plus tomorrow because it's the VIP weekend. I can't start Zoom and then just abandon it all weekend. Although I will be abandoning it long enough to go get ice cream from Clifton. It's the whole reason why I can't go to guild meeting tomorrow. Because it's VIP weekend. They used to have 2 G Street Fabrics in Virginia, but both are now closed. I think it's just the one that's in Rockville that's open. I'm not even sure if that one's still open. I think the gray work from Tula Pink comes out in the fall. So do you see how, like, on this side I have the darker fabric down here? So when I put this other one on, I just need to have it opposite corner. How do I turn my sound off? There we go, like that. I can't wait for the gray work line to come out. It's gorgeous. I'm really, like, I want to buy a bolt of every piece from that whole line. Maybe not every piece, but yeah, it's really pretty. But I also loved her line work line. That was one of my favorites. So for her to bring out the gray work, I'm really excited. Oh, Tanya, you know what? How about next time? Let me know next time you're going and we'll make it a date. We'll get coffee, have some lunch, and we'll do some quilt shop shopping. It just can't be tomorrow. Give me at least a week's notice. Who knows? I might even bring Ian with me. Yeah, it comes out in the fall. That's right. My husband wanted me to say hello. He has to finish a work thing for his boss, but specifically said to tell Becca I said hello. He knows my Friday friends. Hello, Mr. Laura. Got to get that quilt finished. Got to put some borders on it so I can get it on the long arm. Maybe that's what I'll do this weekend. Get the borders on that so I can get it quilted and bound. All right. It comes out in October, Ian is telling me. Thank you, Ian. All right. Now, I'm going to move these fabrics out of the way so that I have more room to do my pressing. So I'm going to press these sides out, and I just like to press them underneath the side. So I'm going to finger press it first, and then I'll come in with an iron. Trina Taco says, I have been hoarding a yard bundle of line works. The gray works line will be perfect pairing. It will be. It will be. That's okay. I knew what you meant. Yep, Ian's going to the DC Modern Quilt Guild meeting tomorrow without me. And it is in Bethesda, so if you're going to be in or around the Bethesda, Maryland area, send him an email. I'm sure he'd love to meet you for coffee or something. Or maybe go to Capital Quilts. I see you, Laura. Thank you. Angela said, I saw Tula's post on Instagram yesterday and immediately said, I need to save money. Boyfriend looked at me and said, no, you just need to stop buying. Shelly says, Angela, you might need a new boyfriend. Okay, there we go. All right, now I'm going to do the same thing with the top and the bottom. I'm just going to make sure that like fabric is touching like fabric. So this is going to go on the top like this. I'm going to do all of one side and then come back and do the other. Can't doula without my doula. For those of you that have just joined, I am putting together a quilt that's making the blocks that are above my shoulder. I just dropped in the chat the cutting instructions if you want to make this same block with me, and then you can just follow along with the video. This is really easy to put together, and if you want a printable project sheet, you can go to my website. Under free downloads, there will be a link for Layer Cake Tango. It's also linked in the description box of this video, so you can grab that, get your fabric together, cut it according to the way pre-cut tells you to cut that fabric, and then you can pop back over here, watch the video, and we can sew it together. I'm going to see how many of these blocks I'm going to get put together tonight. It's going to be 30 blocks all together, plus 2 borders, a thin inner border and a 2-inch inner border and a 6-inch outer border. And when it's all done, it's going to measure 81 inches wide by 94 inches long. Okay, now I'm going to do the bottom row. Wendy says, I just looked at the price of the pink door Tula box for Gray Works. I told my husband to be prepared. He said, okay. G Quilter says, whenever I told my husband how much I saved, he used to say, we can't afford for you to keep saving like this. That sounds like something my husband would say. We always talk about, like, I'll be like, oh, I saved da 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 because I hit a sale or something. And he'd be like, yeah, you didn't save, babe. That's not saving. I was like, no, but I did. He's like, no, 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 no. Saving is not spending it in the first place. So what has everybody been up to these past couple weeks? You guys have any plans for Easter next week? Next week is my daughter's spring break, so her last day of school was today. Girl math, yes. Yes, girl maths. My husband does a lovely job. I love it when he does this. So he'll go out, and when he comes home, he will a lot of times bring me a quilting magazine and occasionally like a bar of chocolate or something instead of flowers. He knows the keys to my heart. Fabric and chocolate. He's a keeper. Susie is here and says, greetings to one and all from 96-degree Las Vegas. I haven't sewn anything lately, too busy playing in the garden. This week I built 2 raised 8x2 grow beds and a 4-foot bench. Awesome. Sounds like a lot of fun. Trina says, I am working, and more working. I am looking forward to Mary's visit. And then the week after Easter, so not this week, not this coming week, but the next week, the week of the 20th, I think it is, on the 23rd, it's a Wednesday, Mary and Ian and I will be leaving to get out of town for a few days. So that Friday night, I think it's the 23rd, 24th, I think it's the 25th, I will not actually be live that night. But I might have a pre-recorded video that I'll premiere, maybe, we'll see. And y'all can at least that way have the chat. Let me know, like, would you rather have that, or would you just, like, if I can't be physically live, pass? Let me know in the chat. If you can't be live, don't do it. Premiere or live, that's what you can do. Type in premiere if you're okay with a pre-record, which gives you the live chat piece, or live if you only like to do the Friday nights when I am physically live and can see the chat. Oh, wow. Lori says, I'm still cleaning up after an F2 tornado went over my house. No injuries. Well, good to hear that. Premiere. Mimi says premiere. Okay. Premiere. Deb says a premiere. Okay. Premiere. Premiere. Okay. Maybe I will do a premiere. Premiere, if that can work out. Premiere. Premiere. Wow. Okay. Maybe we'll do a premiere. And then maybe Mary, Ian, and I, since we won't be live, maybe the 3 of us could at least join you in the chat. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. And then I think Ian's planning to do the same thing for his Sunday video, since we'll still be gone. And then we can support him in his chat and interact with you on his live stream too. Oh, we can watch the premiere. You go have a good time. Well, I could maybe have a good time by being in the chat on my phone. We'll see. Although maybe I will just take, well, we'll see. We'll see if I have the time to record something and put it out there. Laura says, I love the sound of your machine. Honestly, I could fall asleep listening to it. It is so lovely. I agree. I love the way she sounds. Stephanie Fulton. Bob says on the 25th, we are going to go see Stephanie Fulton. Tell her I said hi. Melody says, your blocks are moving me towards liking Tula more than I had up till now. Okay, so for me, I don't love every Tula line. I only like some of them. But when I like it, I love it. And when I don't like it, I hate it. So it's a very black or white thing for me. If I love it, I love all of it. Well, I mean, like I want to have all of that fabric. And there are a lot of lines where I'm like, okay, I really only just like a few prints, or I just like the color palette she uses. One of the things that I struggle with Tula's fabric is cutting it, because there's just so much going on, and in my head, I just get overwhelmed with all the different possibilities, and oh my gosh, I don't want to cut off the head of a T-Rex, like, oops, is what happened here. But if you buy a pre-cut, like a layer cake or a charm pack, then while you might not get the perfect fussy cut that you would have liked to get out of your yardage, they take the parallelization out of it for you. No, I don't think it does. Somebody's asking, Shelly's asking, does the black background fabric have a glow in the dark element? I don't think it does. So I've got 6 more of these blocks made. And now we're gonna, oh, I forgot to press, I got one more sitting over here that I need to press. So I will pack that up and set it over here. Oh, it does? It does glow? Oh, okay. Oh, no, it does not. Okay. Oh, it glows under black light? Roar does? Is Zoe's quilt still a whip? No. She asked me just to make it a wall hanging. All right. Now we're going to do, we'll make another 6. So I'm just going to count out and batch sew again. 3. I need 12 of my 2.5 inch by 5 inch. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Paula says, this is one of those patterns that you're done before you know it. It's going together really fast. I agree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I haven't shown the border fabric yet because I don't have it here in front of me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Wow, that was great. All right, now we're going to join these together on that short edge, and I'm just going to batch sew them all. 9 o'clock, door's locked. It always startles me every time it does it. Going to Paducah Quilt Show on the 23rd of this month, says Carol. We'll be there for 4 days and I cannot wait. Have a blast. That sounds awesome. Bet you'll have a wonderful time. Carissa says certain fabrics of Tula Pinks have things that you can see if you hold the fabric up to a light, but not see when you're just looking at it. Easter eggs, huh? You know what? You should never give Ian access to your smart home because he just made my doors go funny things. He has access to my smart home in his phone, and so he can make my doors lock from anywhere. When we were at Quiltcon, when we were at Quiltcon, we were making the front door lock and unlock. While Jason was working, his office is right by the front door, so we were making it lock and unlock and lock and unlock. And I just get a text from him that's like, "Stop messing with the locks!" Because Ian would unlock it and then I would lock it, and then he would unlock it and then I would lock it. And we were sitting in Phoenix on a couch, literally just laughing our butts off because we thought it was hilarious. Leave the locks alone. Oh. Sylvia says, I have a hard time cutting the big, beautiful print out of Tula. I like the smaller prints. I have the same problem too, but I find that using a layer cake or something like this helps because they've done the random cutting for you. But the other thing that helps is if you find a pattern that features really big prints. So I've got on my website, on my pattern shop, I have got a pattern called Trellis Garden that I designed specifically for Tula Pink fabrics to show off that really beautiful print. If you're into fussy cutting some fabric, that would definitely be something I would tell you to try. You and Ian are definitely a dangerous combination. Yeah, don't get us in the same room. Yes, Ian's playing with the alarms again. And he's so much like my husband because I'll be driving. I don't know if you know that you could do this. Maybe you can't anymore, but I know you could for a while. My husband always has a key to my car on his key ring. And so we'd go places and have to take two cars sometimes. And I'd be driving either in front of him or behind him. And all of a sudden, my doors are locking and unlocking because the fool's sitting in his car clicking my clicker when I get close to his. And he thinks it's hilarious, so he's just laughing. Good thing he's wasn't making the alarm go off. That would have been embarrassing. I probably just gave him an idea. I bet that doesn't work, though. Suzanne says, I would have changed the passcode on you two. My husband doesn't know how to do that, so... Hello, Eric. Don't forget, guys, by the way, if you have a YouTube channel, Eric just reminded me of this when I saw him pop in. If you have a YouTube channel that you would like people to check out, do !selfie in the chat, and the bot will drop a link to your channel so folks can check it out. And if they like what they see, they can hit that little subscribe button. Zaza says our TV came with 2 remotes and I changed the channel when he wasn't paying attention. It drove him crazy. He thought the TV was faulty. Are the strips part of the fabric line? Yes. All of this fabric is from Roar. Oh, Andrew, I just saw this. I am so sorry. Andrew got second in the Hoffman Antiques Challenge. Awesome. Congratulations. Oh, Josh. He was just waiting for that. He said, did someone say selfie? I did. I said selfie. Did you remind Mary to bring the backing for her panda quilt? I did not, but I should. Send her a text if I remember, although she probably won't see it. If I tell her it could be done, I bet you she would. I've got 108s here actually. In fact, I have the fabric for, I have the backing. She had some bamboo, some fabric with some bamboo on it, but I have backing here that she could choose from. That would be a good second. So. Thank you, Ian. How many of you would just finger press these seams versus ironing them? Hi, Jason. It's my husband. He said, hello, wife. He's doing laundry like a good husband. I just said you're doing laundry like a good husband.
That's messed up.
It is. Like you're still doing the laundry.
That's not a lie.
Messed up or not.
That's not a lie.
How much? How much yardage did I use? Well, I used a layer cake, and however much the PDF says. PDF is linked in the description box down below. You would iron the seams, finger press, ironing for me. Jason has the best voice. It's like honey. No, not there. Hello, Michelle. Almost looks like the center block is floating. Linda said, that's a good husband if he knows how. I just assumed my husband didn't. I wash my own clothes. He used to do mine all the time, but I like doing my own laundry now. So I do my laundry, he does his, and we try to teach Zoe to do hers. Oh, and he does laundry for his mom. Hello, Katie. I feel like that's from Animaniacs. Hello, nurse. Five. Does that iron handle get hot on you? No, it doesn't. But I'm going to tell you, don't be surprised if next week you see my cordless iron making a reappearance over here. Because I like the iron, but I just don't like the cord for when I'm trying to record content and live stream. It just gets in my way. So I'm going to go back to my cordless. But I do like this iron. I'm just going to dedicate it to my traveling iron because it's small enough to carry around. So we're going to go back to the Panasonic. It was fun while it lasted, but I'm getting tired of the cord. I've got enough cords coming off all the camera equipment. I don't need them coming off of the iron too. All right, let's pull off 6 more. This time, I'm going to do it from the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 more blocks. Oh, Jason will bring mine down. Oh, so Terry said she had to return her mini Aliso because the handle was burning her. Wow. Didn't know that was a thing. Amy says, we do our own laundry now. I used to do it, but he kept leaving pens in his pockets. Yes, Sherry. She says, Tiffany and Donna Jordan taught me a good finger press moves things along faster and it makes it easier to press at the iron. I agree. Sometimes the ironing, if you've noticed, like I'm finger pressing and then I'm ironing, I don't know why I'm doing both. It's definitely not needed. It is definitely slowing me down, but I think there's just something about that muscle memory. I need to figure out another place to put that camera mount for my machine because I feel like the picture is jumping when I sew fast. But fortunately, it's just a little inset, so it shouldn't be that difficult. Can you say something about the seam guide you're using? Yeah, it's magnetic. Something. I don't know where. I think I got them off a TikTok shop. It was like a package of 2 or something for $10, so I don't have a link for it. But you guys have seen these advertised, right? Let me show you in the overhead. So the neat thing about this is it has just a flush side. So that's the side that I'm using for my seam guide. But then it has all of these other areas that are supposed to be good for doing like curved seams. This is what the bottom looks like. It's a pretty strong magnet. I've just been using this side, but apparently like it is multifunctional. Good night, Joyce. Have a good rest. Good night, Joyce. Have a good sleep. All right, all the sides are put on here. So now we're going to do the top and the bottom. Josh said, I could have sworn I heard a rumor that Mary is coming to town soon. Yep, she'll be here tomorrow, probably by lunchtime. Okay, we're going to try and just finger press this time. There's not a ton of bulk on these blocks, so I feel like that iron is an unnecessary step. It's just adding another step that we could trim off and get finished a little bit faster. I will definitely give all the blocks a nice iron before I sew them together. I won't be putting the blocks together tonight. I'll just be making the blocks, but I will have this quilt finished and quilted by the end of the weekend. So next week, if you come back a week from today on the 18th, I'll be able to show you the quilt finished. Hello, Alidia. Good night, Susan. Have a great night. 2 Cross Stitchers says, I switched accounts so I can have my page come up. It's a cross-stitching page. Awesome. And she just dropped her link. So if you guys are into cross-stitching, go check out her channel. I have been doing a lot of hand embroidery. I'm not like super good at it. I'm still learning, but it has been something I have really enjoyed doing in the evenings while Jason and I are watching TV. It's been great to like still be able to be creative, even if I can't be in my sewing room, while also spending time with my family. Because normally when I'm quilting, I'm in here and my family's not in here with me. And so it just becomes this whole thing where I feel guilty because I'm at the office all day and then I come home, and if I'm in here sewing all evening, then I feel like I'm ignoring my family. But by having a portable creative thing that I can work on, I can still spend some time with my family. I can come in here for a half an hour or an hour, get a little bit done, and then go watch TV and hang out with my husband and do some handwork, which keeps me in the front room a bit longer because I don't do good just sitting without my hands moving and watching TV. I will fall asleep. I'm not a good, TV to me is just background noise. I engage with it. I am paying attention to the plot, all of that stuff, but it is not It would have to be something really good for me to drop everything and just watch. I've been whiling the time away in my commutes by listening to audiobooks, and I've really been enjoying that. So I'm picking one audiobook at a time and I'm going through it, and it's usually my commute book. So I'm only listening to it when I'm in the car driving to or from work or somebody else, which makes the 40-ish minute drive in the morning and the evenings go by a bit nicer because I get to look forward to listening to a chapter or so of my book. I just finished listening to The Time Traveler's Wife. I liked that. It was a little slow to start, but then I really got into it. I'm now listening to The Giving Quilt by Jennifer Cheverini. That's part of the Elm Creek Quilts books series. I have all of those on audio format. I love those books. There's only a few that I haven't listened to. This is one of them. I really like young adult. I really like young adult. Let me know if you guys have some book recommendations. I like true crime too. I like mystery. I just like a good story. I like a good story. And I really like it if it's narrated well. It is a good book, but it was sad, wasn't it? Yeah, I didn't it was a little sad. I didn't love the ending. I mean, it's okay, but yes, it was a good book. I do want to see the movie, but I told myself I wasn't allowed to watch the movie until I read the book. And I even bought a physical copy of the book to read. I won't read. It's one of those things where reading, there's something in my brain. Like, it's not that I can't. I can. I used to be able to read and go through, like, if it was a good book, I could physically read it. But now I just end up wanting to fall asleep. And then I find myself having to reread the same page or the same paragraph over and over and over again. I just much rather listen to it on an audible format. And I know some of you out there are telling me that's not really reading. And that's fine, and I don't care. You do what works for you. The movie was really good, Linda says. So I will check that out. It is on my list of things to watch while I am embroidering in the front room. Podcast Crime Junkies. Yes, I am very familiar with that podcast. Yep. Linda says, reading puts me to sleep. It's too hypnotizing these days. Oh, Ian. Ian says, as someone who worked in a library, audiobooks are 100% reading. Fight me. The fight me is what got me. Fight me. Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. Sarah J. has made 3 ongoing series. Ooh, Shelley likes the Maze Runner series. I'm never going to remember all of these. But at least I can come back to the live stream, go to about an hour and a half in, and see it in the chat. So there's that. I'm sitting here hand sewing, binding on a queen size quilt, says Barbara. Josh says, I'm liking Danielle Page's young adult fiction series, Dorothy series. It's a retell of The Wizard of Oz. Laurel K. Hamilton, Anita Blake series, and Mary Gentry series. I've actually heard of Laurel K. Hamilton. I think I might have read one of her books or listened to. Can you use the magnetic seam guide on a newer machine with electronics? Yes, you can. I hear a lot of folks say, oh, you can't use a magnetic seam guide on a computerized sewing machine. Malarkey, yes, you can. What you don't realize is all of the computer, all the computer stuff. Oops, let me put you over here. It's over here on this side of your machine. It's not under here. It's over here. There might be some computer parts over here that help you adjust the needle, but the brain of it's over here. Putting a magnet here is not going to mess that up. And you guys know why they tell you not to put magnets near a computer, right? It's not actually that you can't have magnets near a computer. It's that you should not have magnets near a hard drive. And I don't know if solid state drives are this way, but definitely the old school discs, the hard disks that spun, were that way. If you had magnets too close to the hard drive, it could erase the contents of your hard drive. Maybe there are some other impacts that I'm not aware of, but that was what I always heard, is the magnet near the computer, if it was too strong of a magnet and it got too close to the hard drive, it could wipe your hard drive. Move the camera, please. Which camera? I don't know which camera you want me to move. There are 3 of them. The Hunger Games, I still haven't listened to that series, and I've heard a lot of good recommendations about it. Okay. Oh, Patricia Cornwall books. Lynn says, I love the Patricia Cornwall books. Magnets do not affect solid state drives. Thank you, Lori. I was thinking that was probably the case, but I really hadn't done my research, so. Is that one of the magnets that helps with straight sewing? Yes. Sometimes I use a seam guide like that. Sometimes I don't. Just depends. Midsummer Murder Series books are a good listen. Ooh, I'll have to give that a lissy-loo. I remember a few years ago, I listened to a Kristen Hanna book and I really liked it. I think there were two of them that I listened to. There was one about, I want to say, a woman who had kids and survived the Great Depression. And it was like all the story of how she did that, I think. And then there was another one that was a little too graphic for my liking, but it was a good story and it was narrated well about, I can't remember. And I don't want to repeat any of the words because it could be triggering, but there was some SA that happened and some unaliving of people. Don't you love the little headlight on the iron, Becca says? Yeah, or Becca says, sorry. So Terry's asking that. Yes, I do. You never knew you needed a light on your iron until you had one. Hello from the Texas Gulf Coast. Hello, Teresa. Your Lissy Lou made me chuckle. Lissy Lou. Looky Lou, Lissy Lou. Rochelle Mead Vampire Academy. Okay. Gonna have a whole bunch of these. Oh, magnets can also wipe your hotel door card access. Yes. You wouldn't want to put magnets near any cards that have magnetic strips. That would be true. I probably wouldn't even put them against anything that has RFID in it. I don't know what the repercussions of that would be, but better safe than sorry. Oh, no, I did not listen to I did not read the women. There was actually some friends that wanted to do a book club where we all got together and read the women. And I paid a credit on Audible to get the book. And the first, like in the first chapter or two, I was like, no, I'm not, no. It was too triggering for me. I did not like, I didn't want to listen to it. I couldn't get past the beginning. But I do like her books. I just didn't like that one. These blocks are gorgeous, Bernadette says. Thank you. Dropping in the chat the cutting instructions and a link to my website, although the link to the PDF project sheet from Pre-Quilt, it is free and on my website is linked in the description box down below. The quilt will end up measuring 81 inches wide by 94 inches long. And I just used about 30, well not about, exactly 30 pieces out of a layer cake and then some yardage. All right. Another one bites the dust. Bump, bump, bump. Another one bites the dust. All right, let's see what you guys have been working on. I want to know, what have y'all been doing with your time? So we're going to take a look at the Facebook group in just a moment. Let me get that window up and going and head over to the Facebook group. So make sure to take a picture of what you've been working on tonight or this week and upload it to the Facebook group. !Facebook in the live chat will get you a link over to the group. So we're going to go that. And I'm going to see if I can fix this so it just goes to the one window. I want it to go, okay. I'm going to have to close this then. Because if I bring it up here, I guess I could put it here, huh? If I do that, then I can still see, right? You guys can see what's happening, right? Right? Yeah, yeah. Let me find my mouse. All right, we're going to go to So Becca and Friends, and we're going to scroll down, and we're going to see new posts. All right, the first one up is from, oh, hold on, let me fix this so I can see the whole chat. Okay, that'll make it a little bit easier. Okay. There we go. Okay, first up is from Patty. This is Donna Jordan's Jagged Edge quilt. So you guys, I do have a video that's going to drop in the next week or so, rethinking a Donna Jordan free pattern from her website. I go over this in the intro to the video. I recorded this like almost a year ago and I never released it because I don't know. I just sat on it for whatever reason. And now with her passing, I just thought this would be a neat tribute to them. Kind of, maybe. I don't know. Like, I certainly don't want to be one that's writing a tragedy like this for any type of monetization or views or popularity. But I don't know. I'm going to release the video. I recorded it a year ago. I took one of her patterns that she had released and I wanted to make that quilt with a different size fabric. And so I do all the quilt math to figure it out and I walk you through it step by step. So we'll see what happens. Jennifer Turney is sharing a few of her quilt retreat finishes. She is at retreat. Look at those. Oh, I know this one. This is a pattern I will have coming out in the next couple of weeks. Roberta says I needed to pull out reds and blues from what I shelved before opening the totes for the colors so that I can continue on Donna's April sew along. Awesome. Anne-Marie says, hello to my future best friend. Baby Glock Regalia with Pro Stitcher. In shock, this came to live with me. Oh, congratulations. I'm so excited for you. Yvonne says, my sewing machine is broken, so I've been hand appliquing snuggly Christmas sweaters from a charm pack. Now, what do I do with them? Hey, listen, I have been practicing the blanket stitch hand embroidery, and I feel like now I want to do some applique, like hand applique. So yeah, really excited about that. Oh no, Carol says today was Donna Jordan's birthday. Oh my gosh. Elizabeth says working on In the Hoop bowl cozies. They are really fun to do. I need to make some more bowl cozies. I only have 2. Susan says, my 2 most recent finishes. Dancing Tulips is the first one, and I hand quilted it in a clamshell pattern. Second is a wool applique that I did the top 10 years ago, my own pattern, and had it custom quilted at the quilt shop. Kanzi is the long arm quilter, and she did an amazing job. I would love wool applique. I'll have to give it a try. I've really been hooked into hand embroidery, so I bet I would. Oh, somebody's already started their blocks for month 4. Oh, we got another one. All right, let's refresh and see what else we have in here. Saw this pattern and tried it out. That's cool. Alma says, this is what I've been working on this last week. Wow. Looks like somebody's preparing for a craft fair. Lily says, ignore the bad lighting and the lumpy bed. This is the first quilt that I'm keeping for myself. I also am submitting it to my guild show in 2 weeks. That's so beautiful. I love it. Good job, Lily. Melissa says, I've been working on a rice-filled heating pad frogs, a Donna Jordan star quilt, more frogs, and I went to a paint-your-own pottery place and painted a faceted mushroom to look like a Tiffany lamp. I love that. You did a great job. Angela says, 2 car seat quilts for the grandbabies and my EPP project from Quiltcon 2024, Hexy Dreams. I just bought the backing for it, for all of it, a couple of days ago. Oh, wow. One of these days I will get into Hexies. My handwork is not clean enough yet, but Mary did buy me this for my birthday. It's 400 pieces of 1-inch Hexies. I think they're 1-inch Hexies. So I want to do something with Hexies. Oh, Leanne's getting ready for Easter. Janine says, this is what's on my long arm tonight. Almost done. Janine, I love it. So pretty. Terry says, started Project Dress a Girl 2025 today, and I just ordered 35 yards of fabric to proceed. Megan says she has taken a break from quilts and has been working on a dress and tie for my kids for Easter. If I have time, I have the fabric for a matching dress for myself too. Amanda finished 3 quilts this week. Clicking into this isn't making it any... there we go, that's better. I love seeing all of your work. We've got 2 new member requests, so let's get you guys in so that you can post your photos to the group. Saw this pattern and tried it out. We saw that. We saw that. We saw that. We saw that. Although we're seeing them a lot better now, aren't we? I think this is the last one that we saw. Deb says, I have this ready to quilt. Oh, so pretty. Ooh, Judy finished a Poppins bag. I love that. Kelly made this at a quilt retreat last weekend. It's a 1-block wonder using border fabric. It was so fun and easy. Tanya says she just finished this beast. That's a lot of little squares, Tanya. Amy says, my most recent cross-stitch finish. Oh, look, I always struggle with what would you do with cross-stitch afterwards. And now I see this and I'm like, oh, that's great. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, there's more. Guess what? Chicken butt. What the cluck? Clucks super over. Oh my gosh. That's so cute. That's so cute. I love those. Melody Slater is coming along with her. I like that block. I like the fabric choice too. Tracy is working on Butterfly Farm. And we're back to that one. We've seen that one already, so we'll refresh and see what else has come in. Monica says, I've been working on some sashiko blocks, going to make a quilt out of 365 of them, and I'm only a third of the way there. I want to do some sashiko because that's just like, essentially just like hand embroidery. Okay. Every time I do this, I always know that the night's about over because when I get to this part and I'm just reading all of the comments and I'm looking at all the pictures, I start yawning and I'm like, okay, it's time for bed. Nobody wants to see me yawn. Amanda Hagenhoff says, I finished this baby quilt for the baby shower this weekend. I love the colors in that. Katie says, I'm working on a flock of geese. I know what you're doing, Katie. Jen Marie is working on some Easter fun. Tanya said her quilt was 3-inch squares. She doesn't remember how many. A lot. Jaleesa says, a side hustle by Annie's Pattern for my daughter and spouse. They like black. I love that bag. Oh, that's great. And we've seen that. All right, friends. I think we have seen enough of what you guys have been working on. I'm over here yawning. I don't think you want to see me yawn. So let's recap with a few things. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., the video for my block of the month, it drops. It is, as you saw, the Dutchman's Puzzle. I have had a few folks say that they think that there are errors in the cutting instructions on the block. So if you think that there were errors and it is not 10 a.m. on Saturday, please just email me and tell me what you think is wrong so I can take a look at it. Hopefully somebody has already emailed me that already. I think everything's correct, but I might need to go take a look at the PDF again. I'm going to try to do that tonight before the video drops tomorrow so that y'all aren't getting messed up if it's out there. Secondly, tomorrow is the VIP/YouTube Perks member Zoom for the whole weekend. It'll start at 10 a.m. on Saturday and it will run through whenever Sunday evening. Last one out, we'll turn the lights off when they leave. I do leave the Zoom open starting at 10 a.m. going all the way through the whole weekend. People can come and go as they please. I am not there the entire time because I can't be, but I am there for a good portion of it. And Mary will be there too because she's going to be here tomorrow and I'm really excited about that. And I think Ian's coming over this weekend too, so you'll probably see him in and out a bit. Other than that, I think that's all I have. I've got a couple of patterns that are going to be dropping in the next couple of weeks, so you're going to want to stay tuned for those. And yeah, I think that's it. Okay, I've done all my announcements. If I missed anything, then I'll just tell you again next week. It'll be fine. Thank you, friends, so much for hanging out with me this Friday. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys all next Friday. Bye! Okay, end.